right, Jeromy Laporte. Thanks for coming on, my man.
You bet.
You
Pleasure.
you know I've been bugging you for this for a while.
Yeah, it's been hard because I've been very, very busy. So it's been hard to get here, but I just had to schedule you in just like everybody. So
We're here
it
now.
works.
Um,
Yeah.
cool. So yeah, let's talk to everyone watching this video a little bit about your experience with Agent Launch. So why don't you give everyone a little bit of backstory, like, where are you? Where were you before you and I first spoke? And then we'll get into the rest a little bit after. So quick intro.
Okay. Intro. I live in Fort McMurray, Alberta, Canada. And essentially I was a home builder before I became a realtor. So I got sick of losing my commissions to a real estate agent when I built the houses, and I decided to pursue the path of real estate. So the biggest thing for me was putting that money back in my own pocket. And then I was, just joined Agent Launch. I had a 10 years experience building homes, and then I became a real estate agent. So then I was just like everybody. Eric saw your ad, got very skeptical, and joined Agent Launch. And I'm mostly doing this interview because I believe that you can help people, and it's not for everybody. Like I truly believe that every program out there, and even Agent Launch, might not be for everybody, but it worked for me. And I'll get more into that as this thing
So
goes.
just to
you know,
summarize, 10 years as a builder. But when you joined us, from what I recall, is you hadn't sold a house yet. Yeah.
Zero.
So
So we're
brand
talking
new.
brand new agent, and I didn't join EXP, right? I joined Coldwell Banker, and it just made sense for me. You interview everybody just like I interviewed you prior to joining, right?
Totally. So yeah, let's talk about how the process started. Well, why don't we tell everyone a little bit where you're at now, what you've done this year, and then we'll go back and talk about how we started working together.
Sure. So far this year, I joined Agent Launch just when I became a new agent. So we're talking fresh. And really, I didn't put a lot of effort into it, but we started running Google ads, the paid at Google ads, in December. And so I got my real estate license in September, took a couple months. It takes a bit before you put your website together and your branding and all that stuff. And then I remember specifically yourself and Axel said, Jeromy, you need to run ads in December. I know it's the slowest month. And I'm like, okay, guys, we'll do this. And sure enough, January was starting to see sales. But the biggest thing is, and I can tell you this, if you're listening right now and you're skeptical, you're only going to get what you put in. So if you don't call those leads, and if you don't actually put in the effort, you're not going to succeed. And it's not going to work for everybody. You might be in a saturated area. I don't know. I'm just talking about my own personal experience. So what I've done from now, so really started running ads in December, started doing sales in January. We're the date today is July 10th, 2023. And Eric, I'm going to show this. I've kind of taken this. This is my
You
year
brought
to
your
date
numbers. Nice.
from my brokerage, right? So I'm just going to show everybody that I had zero experience. None of these leads came from a lot of referrals. I would say maybe two. Okay. I've done a total of about, ends, I think about 20 ends. So when we say, sales or purchases, and I'll just show the camera, there's $120,000 there in 6 months, roughly. And I have stuff closing on Wednesday. I have stuff that is not showing on here because it's already closed, and we don't get paid until, it clears the lawyer's offices. It takes about 2 weeks. So I would say realistically, I'm at about 130, but for this video, I brought this. I just picked up my blue envelope. There you go, from my office to show you this. So
That's awesome. I mean,
and what I want to say too, Eric, is I know that looks like all profit. I have to pay taxes on that,
yeah, of
right?
course.
but also I paid for Google ads, right?
Hmm.
So you got to understand you're going to get what you put out. And some of those leads are like a year from now. Like that's
Hmm.
fine, but you have to follow the process. And I've kind of used some of your process steps and used my own, and it's been working. And you'll just find your own groove, right?
Yeah. Well, I think like you hit the nail on the head. Like no programs for everyone. You get in what you get out what you put in. Very important to understand. It's also important to understand like, you started out, you've done 120K. We're halfway through the year pretty much. You got a few more coming up, but this snowballs over time because
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
like you just said, you get leads that are a year out, some are 2 years out. And it's about building the pipeline. In your case, you were able to actually follow our process and start monetizing this. But what I love about what you did is you made it your own because we can't do everything for people. We give you the structure, we give you the framework, and we can do as much as we can. But you always want to make it your own and put it into your own voice. And I'm glad you actually said that.
Yeah, you have to fine tune it, I think. I mean, stuff that Linnea does might not work where I live, right? I live in a
Totally.
different niche, right? And so you just have to find your own like calling. What works for you? Be true to you and find what works for you. And I think that's important. I mean, and the great thing is, Eric, anybody in your organization has been more than willing to help you do that, right? Whether I check in with Axel or, my representative to say, hey, can you just check my Google ads? Are they running like on top? Like, which one should we do? Like, just give you a quick example. We started running a condo ad, like $500 budget a month, and I'm getting a better cost per lead for those ones than the other ones. So Axel saying, hey, just keep running it. So it's like, you're just going to find out. Now I've actually split off a bit. I'm still doing the Google, and I've actually worked with, another company that you guys are kind of affiliated with Street Text, and I'm doing
Hmm.
a few Facebook ads. And so you just, as you grow, you can integrate more things, right?
Yes, but one at a time.
One at a time, man. I didn't run anything but Google ads I just started the Facebook ads just to let everybody know 2 weeks ago. And
Nice.
I am getting a lot, and I've spoken to other people like Linnea, because these people are part of the program. You have them, you have access to them, you can reach out to them. But essentially she's like, I do a lot of this stuff and it works for me. So I said, hey, you know what? I'm going to try it. Started a small budget and we'll work our way up.
And
So
then what else are you doing? I mean, I know we were powwowing about equipment before this call.
yeah,
But
yeah.
you
So
can see Jeremy's really nice setup, everyone. Well, he's next step for him is he's going to really be working with us on the video production side of things.
video production. Yeah. So, basically with agent launch, they'll, hey, Max, dog's coming to say hi. But
Max.
essentially what happens with agent launches, they'll give you the steps and the tools to guide you through the video process to what get in. And you can spend a lot of money or you can start out really small. The biggest, easiest tool is actually sitting right here. It's your phone. You can start with this, right?
Hmm.
And so that's really it. I mean, like now I've invested into a better camera to make these videos. I have some lighting, a microphone, which is right here. And then I've invested in some wireless stuff, and now I'm going to be doing the a better camera. So I invested into a Sony A7 IV. It was I think about $4,000 with the lens. And then, I bought a drone, and then now I'm going to make those videos that, catches your eye and really attracts you. But you don't need that to start. You can start really, really small. So
Yeah, and I think you're also going about it in the right way. Like some people, before they do anything, they'll buy all the equipment where you've kind of done one thing at a time. Done one thing at a
you got to
time.
put about,
Um,
yeah.
get your Google ads firing. Now you got your Facebook ads firing. Now we're going to integrate video. And I think you'll be surprised at how impactful the videos become with the larger database. Because once you have those videos and you're sending them out to 500, 1,000 people, they're just that much more effective.
Yeah. And the thing is too, I think if it doesn't work, people just want to blame you, right, Eric? Like you only get what you put in. It's like you might get the leads, but if you're not calling them and following up with them, then real estate, what I've learned in the first 6 months is clients are like they'll go all over the place. They're,
Mhm.
you know, it's like sheep. You have to herd them and guide them in the process. As realtors, that's really what we are. We're key like door openers that essentially connect the dots for people. Mortgage specialist, lawyers, home inspector, and you need to be there for the client from the start to the finish. And if you don't follow up or basically do the legwork, you might lose that client. And so it's really, like I said from the beginning, it's what you put in, you know, don't, I think this is the biggest one that you said to me. If you want to get super busy, spend more money on leads. But if you can't handle it, remember that if you spend too much money and you get too many leads, you're actually doing yourself a dishonest favor, because you're not gonna be able to follow up with those people, right? And
Mhm.
then you're going to lose clients. So you just got to find your pace, just like everything. Start off
And it takes
slow, work your way.
proactive
Yeah.
work and engagement. Like you've been great at it, and that's why we've enjoyed working with you too. Is like if there's an issue with your ads or you want to try something new, there's a conversation there. It's not like
Mhm.
a, hey, this isn't exactly what I want, this sucks, or this is wrong. It's like, hey, I want to make adjustments. And that's where I always try to prime people of how best to work with us is like, we're there to help you, we're there to support you, but you can't just duplicate the same ad into every single market and expect it to 100% work all the time. There are adjustments to be made. You live in a market where condos are probably hot right now, and a lot of
They
people
are. Yeah.
aren't,
Yeah.
a lot of people are probably not advertising that as much. So there's an opportunity there. And sometimes that takes a little bit of trial and error.
It is
It's
trial and
important.
error. Yeah, absolutely. And you know, the thing is, I've been lacking, and Eric, you know this. I haven't come to a lot of the meetings,
You've been
right?
a ghost for a
So
while, yeah.
I've been a ghost. Yeah. So like, you know, I started going to them at the beginning, learning, and you know, we just live like, because I'm doing so well, I'm fast paced. So I'm so busy that I don't have time sometimes. And I got to make that time. And if you're a new agent out there, the biggest thing you're going to realize is that your calendar is everything. You have to schedule. If you don't, you're like, I've got inspections that I book. I've got, you know, like gift baskets I got to make for homeowners that are moving in tomorrow. And that calendar, I didn't realize how important it was. And my lackings there. Like, I haven't even made a YouTube video yet. I've made TikToks. I'll be honest, guys. I don't even have a Facebook page right now. Like, that really, I've posted all these people's pictures that moved in. I really genuinely
But I
I
like
don't even
that.
have an
I think
Instagram.
I think that's a good thing. And I want to stop for a second because like a
Yeah.
lot of people get lost in thinking they need to be everywhere all at once, right out of the gate. But like you don't need a Facebook page. You don't even need an Instagram. Like you don't even need a TikTok. It's better to choose one and just become really good at that one and then expand
Hmm.
your efforts later. For me, that was YouTube. Now I'm
Yeah.
going to be putting a lot more energy into TikTok, et cetera. And I already have been for a little while, but like I think it's important to understand that it's not, you don't need all these things to have a successful business. You just need lead generation, sales skills, and a little bit of social proof. That's it. But a lot of people get lost thinking they need to be everywhere. And that's where it gets confusing and that's where it gets tiresome and that's where they get lost. And it doesn't help that everyone's selling all of those things to us, the agent, all the
They
time,
do.
too.
And one thing to add to that, it takes years to build a brand. Okay. One thing that Eric, actually, I'll tell you honestly, when I started, we had a quick call with yourself and I can't remember his name now. Um,
I don't
he
remember.
was the one that the original guy
Yeah,
that I
yeah.
was talking to.
Hmm.
Um, but essentially, we had a call together, and you guys actually said, "Don't make your website your name, right? Don't be jeremylaporte.com, because nobody cares who you are. They just want, like I said before, someone to connect those dots. That's very important, if I can tell you anything. So I did living in Fort McMurray. That was your call, Eric. That was you that picked that. And that's where people now on the Google ads will be like, oh, living in Fort McMurray, homes for sale. Click on it and boom. There I am. Like, one thing I will say, if you guys can call those leads within the first 5 minutes, you're gonna have a better like grabbing that client,
For sure.
because they, just like sheep, are going to sway a different way or sign up to another real estate's website. You know, it's just, there's no, I guess, loyalty is a word in a sense, maybe. So you
There
just kind of
isn't,
got
and
to stay on the film.
you have to accept out of the gate that like people are going to be searching on 2, 3, 4, sometimes 5 different websites, and
Yeah.
it's your job to make yours the stickiest by offering the most
Mhm.
value. And I love that you brought up the branding piece, because I've obviously done this for a long time with a lot of people, and the consistent theme I see, and this is what I said to you, is most people grow to despise their personal brands because eventually they want to get out of the business a little bit. And if you ever want to exit production and grow a team and not be the face, branding yourself as jeremylaporte.com is not going to help you do that.
No.
But branding yourself as a lifestyle or like a brand of some kind, like Agent Launch, not, I started as Eric B. Preston Media. Like I did the same thing. So I went through this pain myself, and we
Yeah.
rebranded to Agent Launch. It's like one of those things that I've seen with so many agents at some point. And it makes sense for some people that are building a coaching brand, for example. You look at like Tom Ferry, Craig Proctor, et cetera. Like in some instances,
Ryan, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. In some instances that can make sense. But I think for most agents building a brand, um, like Riley's a good example in Calgary, Bricks, really cool brand, right?
Mhm.
To separate yourself from it, because people have a hard time getting behind your personal brand. They can get behind a company brand, but a
Yeah.
personal brand's tough.
But like you said with Tom and stuff, Eric, I was going to say it took years for them to
Mhm.
basically build that. Like, you know, it just doesn't happen overnight, right? So when you're starting, just make yourself simple. Simple's better in the first sense of things, right? You
Yeah,
know,
100%.
and you have those things that you've tried and tested, and people ask me, and I'll tell you the truth, like they're like, "How are you doing this?" And I just say, "I don't know. It's just my charmingly good-looking face." But really, it's not. It's a mixture of the
This is
cocktail that kind of
this is
mixed it,
Jeromy
right?
not sending us referrals.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a mixture of the cocktail, and it really works. And listen, again, if anybody's watching out there that's skeptical, I was too. I was very, very skeptical because you're putting a lot of reliability and trust in a company that you're spending money on, and you're like, is this going to work? And I'll tell you, it's not going to work for everybody, but it will work for a certain amount of people. And if you put the effort in, it's worth it then, right? And just to let you know, I finished the program and I'm still on with Agent Launch. So, and I just signed up to a new program that Eric offers. And I'll just tell them quickly, Eric, that
Sure.
it's about my branding. Like now, 6 months in, I'm finally doing branding. I'm going to get my YouTube page up and operational, and I'm going to get my Facebook operational. So you can get Agent Launch to basically help you make those things work. So,
Yeah, and that's our mission control program, which is all video editing and branding. And we do a little bit of that in our core program to get people going. And then if you want more of it, that's what Jeremy's doing, is really doubling down on video, brand, all that good stuff, which I think is arguably really good timing for you, given where you're at. So I'm excited to work with
because
you in
now
that
I have
capacity now.
clients, now I have business. So now I understand how to do a contract better, right? Like I'm still learning.
I
Like, don't
hope
get me
so.
wrong, Eric. Yeah, I'm still learning, but I've done. I would say probably I've written about 50 deals. Not all of them have gone through, but you're learning, and that's where you just have to basically. That's where I don't find time a lot to go to some of the stuff, but now I'll be able to because I'm gonna have videos. And Eric's seen
Yeah.
a couple that I did with TikTok, and they were really good. I paid
You
another
are good.
marketing.
I think you're going to be really good on that, because I know you're going to commit to it, because I know your style. And you're already out of the gate. I think you have a good energy on camera, so I think it'll be refining and tweaking over time. But anyways, that's what they're here to help you with on an ongoing basis. Where do you think you're going to finish the year? I mean, obviously there's a bit of a snowball effect, but you've done
Yeah,
20.
so
You think you're going to hit 50
I
this
think
year?
I've done 20 or 30, but I think realistically, like my goal, I'll just tell you my first goal when I started real estate was I wanted to make 100 grand. Well, I'm past that. Um, you know,
Just
I
quit.
just
You're
did it.
done.
Just did. Yeah, no, I just did. So last week, I'll just tell you, I closed my biggest deal yet, 887,000.
Nice.
Um, So the commission based on that one is 14,000. So, I mean, I'll be honest, I'm probably going to be over 200 this year, for sure. But I think I'll probably sit around 220 to 240 realistically, you know, a projection double or 200K, Eric, I think I'll make this year for sure.
That's awesome. I would guess probably a little bit more.
I think so
Based
too.
on
Anything's a bonus, right?
I think you'll flirt with 250, stretch goal 300.
Yeah. And that's the first year. Like, I'm just telling you guys, like, you know, 6 months into this, you know, and there's other programs out there. Like I actually, before I joined Agent Launch, I was super skeptical. I thought maybe it was a scam. I actually reached out to Linnea, who was a graduate of his program. And I called her on the phone because, I mean, we're all agents. We know each, like, you can Google someone's number.
Yeah.
I said, hey, I got to ask you, is this a scam? And she's like, listen, I'm going to tell you the truth. No, it's not. I'm in the program. It's one of the better ones for sure. And, you know, just, I guess the biggest thing is, Eric, it's just try it. Like, sign up, try it. You're not going to know if it works for you if you don't try anything. Right.
For sure. Well, hey, Jeromy, I appreciate you putting a big stamp of approval. And I think we'll have to do another one and catch up. Well, I'm sure I'm going to see lots of you over the next little while. But
yeah, what we should do, Eric, maybe in 6 months, I'll bring this sheet and we'll do a quick follow-up for everybody to see part two, to see what I end up at. And this is coming with zero branding, just following the beginning steps of Agent Launch and what they can do for you. And you do have to spend money. You got to spend money to make money. So don't, you know, be alarmed. You do. I mean, it's how life is, right?
It's definitely a spend money to make money kind of program for sure. Yeah, that's why it's only for select people, but it works. So anyways,
it works.
We'll do a part two end of year.
We'll do a part two. I like that idea. And I'll bring this same sheet, Eric, and we'll show everybody, go back to back of what you can actually do when you put the work in.
All right, brother. Well, thanks for your time, man. I appreciate having you on, and we'll talk to you soon.